I didn't realize I was muted. Hello, hello. Thank you for the follow there.
But I was just about to say, my God! Is this man here?
The one I'm standing, kind of in front of him. Is that Salmonella?
What are these doing? I mean, we can't really talk to him again from that angle. Let's talk to this guy, though. This man was in first class with me. He was quite shaken up by the whole affair. I did it. I made the whole flight. I'm not scared of turbulence anymore. He must have been pretty scared. He's repeating the same thing over and over to himself. I know I should be talking to Gumshoe, but I want to see if I can examine. Okay, I guess I could only talk to people. So let's talk to Gumshoe finally. So let's do the obvious thing I do obviously every time. Present everything I have! Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, I think something just fell out of your pocket. What are you? Yeah! No, something fall out or not. I didn't get a good look, sir. It doesn't concern you, so don't worry about it. My prosecutor's badge all things Gumshoe must never know that I dropped it. I'd never hear the end of it.
Here's the thing about the virtual hugs. I don't really have an animation for that right now. I just haven't really figured out what it is. It's just kind of as of right now, it's just note that you did give me a virtual hug. Eventually, there will be a animation or at least some assets that will come for a bit.
Oh wait, don't need to open it. Detective Gumshoe, this is... Oh, is that for me? Aw, you shouldn't have, sir. But I'll still gladly take anything you give to me. This is evidence, Gumshoe. Hold on, I have to... Okay. Hands off, detective. This is item related to the case. Oh, so what about... what about it did you want to ask me about? Oh. Sorry. I have to have my... Because it's easier for me to look at my phone than it is to, literally turn my head to see chat. That's on my second monitor. And my second monitor, I literally have to turn my whole head for. So, and I forgot to mute my phone. So, sorry. Forget I asked, detective. Yeah. What is this? What is this raccoon-looking thing? It's not a raccoon. It's the mascot of iFly Airlines. His name is Mr. iFly, and apparently he's supposed to be a monkey. Ooh, feeling some inspiration coming on. I'm gonna make a piggy bank out of the police mascot, the Blue Badger. Oh, that would be so cute. Oh my god. Whenever there's any loose change lying around in the period set, it can go in there. Sure, sounds great. as long as it isn't any of mine. It's not really anything, it's just me telling you. There's a lot of evidence to go over here real quick.
And a lot of it's nothing.
So this design, postmodern, sir. Postmodern, you say? Yeah, especially with this alien-shaped handle here. You can really feel a connection. A connection, right? Detective, please stop with your horrible impression of art and an art critic. I was only telling you my honest feelings, sir. Alright. That's all the evidence. Alright, initial investigation. So how's the initial investigation going? We just shipped off the body to the coroner's office. We're taking statements now, sir. That sounds like a Francesca. She's always good at quick responses to a case. I said she was, a little too quick, sir. Oh, how so? She heard I was involved and was on top of it, let me guess. I rushed over as soon as I got word of the affair, sir. But somehow, when I got here, Miss Von Karma was already out here barking out orders at everyone. It's kind of creepy. As though she knew there has been a murder or something. And had come in advance to wait for your flight's arrival. That is sort of odd. She did show up rather quickly and out of the blue. Plus, I still don't know why she's here in America.
Wait a second.
Yo!
Is this like maybe like... No, because... No, I was about to say, is this like right before Bridge to the Turnabout?
I was like, no, Edgeworth wouldn't be in. Edgeworth was out of
the country right before then.
There must be some backstory to all of this. Miss Von Karma just kind of popped up at the prosecutor's office about a week ago, sir. Something about chasing down leads relating to a certain incident. No details? It's kind of top secret, so she can't talk about it, even with me, sir. Knowing her, the only type of talking she likes to do is Mr. Whip. Plus, I doubt that the top secret part was what stopped her from talking to you, detective. Although, I wonder if her case has anything to do with mine. Anyways, it's all about the info I have, sir. We should find more out as we investigate. Yes, it is high time to resume my investigation, starting with talking to the people involved in this case afresh. This child seems to be happily enjoying the sights of many planes. I'm all excited to see this many planes, too. Just look at the size of these things. Do you like planes too, mister? The balance between the main wing and the tail wings is really something, huh? Huh. It seems this child derives his pleasure from a different aspect. Oh, but I also got a thing for the shape of the wings, too. Hey, here, mister. You can sit next to me. So about that plane's wing. Thank you, detective, for leaving me out of this conversation. So, I really... Looking from something behind. I think I've seen this man somewhere before. And it is Sam Vanilla! Because that would be Turnabout Samurai! Edgeworth was the prosecutor during that. Nom 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 nom. Soviet Russia. World plague seats you. Yep, Sam Vanilla. It's definitely Sam Vanilla. Mr. Edgeworth, we gotta get him some water. Found it, lol. Ooh, I feel a wave of creative powers coming on. It's open 9,000 lols. Yep. Yep, definitely something else. For my next leak to move, it was gonna be the Steel Samurai Neo Warrior, the Steel Samurai Warrior Neo Tokyo versus the World Samurai Champion of Earth. It's gonna be a Rolex, so many Rolexes. Oh my gosh. Phew. Good thing that was a false alarm, right, Mr. Edgeworth? So the Steel Samurai is finally getting a movie. Well, ignoring me as usual. Whimpers. This man was in first class with me. He was quite shaken up by the whole affair. I'd be pretty scared too if I got caught up in a murder investigation, sir. However, I did it. I made the whole flight. I'm not scared of turbulence anymore. However, this life vest is proof I made it alive. It's now my prized possession. How could you just take that from the plane? It's okay, Mr. Edgeworth. It's got nothing to do with murder, at least. Lunchland. Not bad. I guess I got big enough to warrant its own brand shop. Ooh, I've always wanted to give their steak lunch a try. What should I go with? I recommend our airport special wordplay lunchboxes, only available for a limited time. We have various lunchboxes made up to look like different countries' flags. If you really want that badly, Detective, why don't you go ahead and buy one? Is that okay, sir? Thanks. Alright. Then I'm really gonna get one. Here I go. Excuse me, miss. I'll take one bannered lunchbox, please. I hope he's aware that that's the most expensive one on the menu. What a view of the plane preparing for takeoff. I want to ride a plane someday and go overseas. Have you never been to another country before, Detective? Nope, not yet, sir. I don't even have a passport. Same gumshoe, same. But I've been saving up for that eventual someday. A penny a day, to be precise. At that rate, you won't be making any tricks until well after retirement. Especially the fact that he has, like, literally... So you must be the captain. Why, yes, I am. Who might you be? I'm the prosecutor, Francesca von Karma, and I have a few questions for you. Don't you dare, Captain, getting friendly with another woman. I'll never forgive you if you do. Well, what are you talking about? I only have eyes for you, my dear Candy. I wouldn't bet our money on our dear captain to be much of a reputable person. I'm sure you don't want to ask the captain some questions, sir. He was in the cockpit the entire time. I highly doubt he knows anything of use. Anyways, I'd like to leave that type of witness to Francesca and her whip. Ah! So I like just over. Edgeworth is just like, yeah, whatever. Francesca normally. Now see here! Ah! Sorry, I'm sorry! How long do you intend to hold me? It's impossible for me to be the criminal I told you! Mr. Lambert? Oh, it's you. Tell this man to stop stopping me from going. Time is money! I don't have even 1 second of wastefulness to spend! Okay. Let me show you everything, so... Okay, never mind. It's like we can't go beyond here, sir. Plus, the body has been sent to the medical examiner's office for an autopsy. Oh man, there's a really pretty lady in the plane over there. Ah! She's looking over here! Quick, sir! Wave at her for me, please. I refuse to be your wingman on this! They got a piano on this plane? Hey, I think you can try it out, sir. I think you would know better than to randomly touch things at a crime scene, detective. Besides, I didn't know you didn't know how I didn't know you knew how to play. Of course I do. I'm practically a proficient. Interesting. Things you learn about people on a daily basis. I can get dough and Ray to come right out, sir. 2 notes doesn't make a professional pianist. Does not make a proficient pianist make a detective.
Now I want that as like a...
Yes, sir? Anything of interest, detective? Well, I can say that I don't quite know everything about the situation yet. So I was just telling myself how I should go ask someone about the stuff I don't know. Just because I don't know it doesn't mean something else might not know it, right? It must be my imagination, but for a second I think I actually understood the logic. It was very easy to tell. Sir, you can't go in there. I'm Miles Edgeworth. I'm one of the prosecutors on this case, so please let me through. I'm very sorry, sir. No one is allowed to enter without Miss Von Karma's express permission. But I'm on the case. Yes, I understand that, but I also have explicit instruction not to let you through. To not let you through from Miss Karma. Why would you do this to me, Francesca? Did you finish taking his statement yet? Yep, all done, sir. I do not concern if you are not done with examining the cargo hold. I want my cargo back. If you make a single scratch on my art, you will pay. Art? What sort of art? Mr. Albert is an art dealer, so he's got a bunch of artwork done in the cargo hold, sir. There's practically mountains of them, large and small. From folk costume of stone statues, I see all kinds of art. Folk costume. Speaking of Mr. Labyrinth's Mr. Labyrinth's hat. It kind of looks like that of that other piece of cloth. Mr. Labyrinth, can you please take a look at this for me? It's a Bulgarian collage. As I suspected, your hat is made of the same material, I suppose. Ah, yes, of course. This fabric is so famous. Orders come from overseas for more. Alright, cool. Then this is the cargo you were talking about earlier. No, my cargo this time is gigantic. You detective, when can I have my cargo moved? You can get your cargo back when we're done investigating, pal. The stubbornness of you police is no good. It is that no good attendants refuse to exit the attendance room too. That attendant. I wonder if you talked about Miss Tendero. What is it? Do you have something of use for me? You seem to not understand. I have no time to waste. Let me put it another way. Les tempos legend. There, maybe another language will get through your head. I understood you perfectly fine in English. Alright. I think this is where we were. He's got like no intel from you. Ah, so you're finally paying my wasted money. Sorry, but there's absolutely nothing inside this wallet. How dare you? You wanting to trick me? I'll sue you for fraud. Good luck with that, I'm a prosecutor. Labyrinth, Are you seriously considering a courtroom tango with me? I hope not, but in case you are, there are. There's a certain lawyer I can introduce you to. Wait, hold on. Is he referring to Phoenix? In this moment, is he referring to Phoenix? I feel like he might be. I feel like he might be referring to Phoenix here. You can say, I can say you have the guts to show me a piece of art at this time, but from a single glance, I can already tell that's mostly worthless. Saying my profession is worthless? Ha! This is much more a valuable piece of non-art, This has much more value as a piece of non-art, I assure you. You look like you have something to say. Perhaps you are thinking, like casting pearls before the swine. He's actually hit the nail on the head for once. Alright, can I say— Ah! Yes! What do you mean by that attendant, Miss Labrador? She was taken into the attendance room for her interview, and then they still have not come out. They have made no signs of coming out either. I was finished with my own interview much earlier, quicker than her. Why is Miss Syndra's interview the only one taking up so much time? Miles, that's worse. You were given free reign to examine this plane, weren't you? Yes, but I was able to attain the Chat, I am terribly sorry. I'm just gonna... Okay, let's just try to reconnect again. Okay. Sorry, Scruffy. My hands must have slipped. It would appear that Francesca doesn't have all the facts of the case yet. From the time the victim was seen calling for an attendant until the body was found.
Hold it.
What do you mean by seen? Please stop pretending like you don't know. It's insulting! Obviously, I'm talking about how Mr. Hicks was seen calling for an attendant at 5 a.m. And then from the time after the call until the body was found. Only one person in this lodge was in you, Mr. Well, it's true that I was in the lounge the whole time. The fact alone does not make me a criminal.
Objection!
Ha! We'll see about that at the conclusion of this investigation. However, there's one thing that even you must admit at this time. This unmistakably makes you the likeliest suspect.
Hold it.
Under the circumstances, I suppose I can agree that I'm the most likely suspect. But I do believe in you, sir. I don't think you did it. This one Karma's gotta believe it too, right? I mean, you two are like siblings. Ow! Quiet, Scruffy! Even if we were related by blood, that's no guarantee that he's not a criminal. Francesca, I demand to see some proof that you're not the guilty party. The likeliest suspect, huh? What a roundabout Eurasium. It appears that she doesn't know yet. About the new evidence we acquired and where we acquired it. I'll take care of the gap and her logic one hole at a time. It is the victim's blood. Yeah! I knew I shouldn't have tried to pull fast one.
I knew internet problems might have happened because we've been having some internet bug stuff.
Fuck! Ow! What'd you make me do, sir? That's one more victim besides myself in the evidence. Wait. Present! Fuck! Wait. This might be a foolish idea. Maybe. Wait. I've lost the gate! Nailed it. It would appear that you did not have all the information you needed after all. What does that mean? I found a nice piece of evidence just before I was forced to stop investigating. A piece that proves the body was moved from a different location. The killer used this suitcase to move the victim's body, meaning that the real scene of the crime scene is not the lounge at all. Now who's the one who's rationally jumping to conclusions? Excuse me? All you did find was this piece of cloth inside the suitcase. That doesn't prove that the body was moved. It could be that the killer simply chose that suitcase as a good place to hide this cloth. I would expect you to come to that conclusion. It would seem that I can't escape that easily. You should know better than that. A Von Karma is perfect in every way. Ah, but you know that the killer definitely did wield the suitcase around at some point. Objection! As if there's proof of that. Where's the proof that the suitcase was... Obviously. of the elevator? Yes, and I would like to draw your attention to this area here. Where does the evidence prove the killer dragged the suitcase right here? Well, right here. This mark here. Wouldn't you say that looks like suspiciously like tracks from 2 wheels? I suppose. Further, there's also grape juice residue stains on the wheels of the suitcase. This means that the suitcase containing the victim's body definitely passed through here. I suppose this means that the killer did move the victim's body from somewhere else. I'm glad you have come to your senses. Objection! Not so fast! This still doesn't put you in the clear! Not by a long shot. You prepared yourself and inquired the piggy bank before the plane hit turbulence. Then you waited for the victim in the lounge, where you beat him to death. Then, while you were in the elevator, the victim's body stuffed in the suitcase. The plane hit that patch of turbulence and flew out the body within the suitcase. No way out, you hesitantly put the suitcase back where you have taken it from. You pretended to be the discoverer of the body. Not a bit bad of logic for something you thought of on the fly. Just what are you insinuating? And I will show you exactly how flawed your logic is. No matter how strong of a face you put on, not even you can hide your fears from me. I'll expose the flaws in her logic in one fell swoop.
Hold it!
And how do you suppose I was able to take the piggy bank out of its display case? As I recall, the case was locked. That's easy. If the case was locked, you simply had to hit the glass. Like this. Ow! Why'd you have to say gumshoe? You shattered my heart of glass. So she wants to talk about the in-flight shop in the iFly bank, does she? That takes care of how you obtained the murder weapon.
I mean, we don't need to hear anymore. I think I know what to do.
Hold it!
I thought there wasn't any of the victim's blood found in the lounge. I thought you'd say that. What? Did you think I wouldn't have noticed? I think you just found a way to clearly hide the blood splattered in the lounge. By accidentally spilling grape juice on top of it. Yeah! Are you accusing me of tampering with the crime scene now? We'll see, won't we? Forensic scientists are hard at work on that as we speak. And? What do you suppose I did after that? While you were in the elevator with the victim's body stuffed into the suitcase.
Hold it!
So I put the victim's body into the suitcase, and then... Where was I headed, Francesca? That's pretty obvious. You were bringing it to the first class where you could safely keep an eye on it. We're talking about this thing, you know. I hardly call it discreet or ordinary. Annoying brat. Well then, you were intending to leave it inside the elevator. But unfortunately for you, a wrench was thrown into your plans because the plane hit that patch of turbulence and flew out the body's window. Flew out the body was in the suitcase. You're supposed to experienced turbulence on a flight before? Of course, many times. You get used to it after a while. That patch we hit, it was especially rough. And I passed out briefly, but only for a second. Man still trembles on earthquakes! I mean,
After everything he's been through, how could you not expect him to?
good thing it was only for a second, sir. It'd been bad if you really blanked out. Yes, indeed. Unfortunately, blanking out is exactly what got me into this mess in the first place. That's enough of your idle chatter. I'm not through with you yet, Miles Edgeworth. If I really were a criminal, do you really think I'd be so easily caught? Objection! You're certainly in the middle of being caught right now! Ah! I had to find a contradiction fast or I won't have much of my own hide left to say. As to say, you're looking rather caught right now. And I'll tell you exactly what you did after that. You loitered around the lounge. and pretended to be the discoverer of the body.
Hold it.
I didn't pretend to be anything. I really wasn't the first to discover the victim's body. I suppose that's true. So then, are you yielding to my statements? Don't be foolish! I still insist that you're the killer, but in that sense, you really were the first to discover the body to be dead. No matter what I say, she seems to be dead set on making me out to be the killer. Her logic is reasonably sound, and the large majority of it reflects the truth. But there's one point about it that is not quite right. Francesca?
Objection.
Francesca?
The fact that you took this piece of evidence into account in your testimony is to be commended. Your legal prowess is certainly something to be feared. Evidence and logic, essential tools to those who would stand in a courtroom must learn to master. But what if there was a fake piece of evidence thrown into the mix? A fake? This Mr. I-Fly piggy bank is just that, such of a fake. It is not the real murder weapon. What? And the timing of when the bank was taken from the shop is important. And it was taken after the turbulence has occurred. But what about the blood on the bank? What do you make of that? I assume it was added after the murder, after the murder when the killer fabricated this weapon. Looking at it this way, the killer basically did three things after the turbulence. After exiting the elevator, the killer brought the suitcase to the shop and left it there. Then the killer proceeded to pick up the bank from the floor and took it to fabricate a fake murder weapon by hitting the victim on the head. Finally, the victim's wallet was planted in my personage in my pocket, to be precise. Everything was done so that I would be framed for the murder of Abigail Hicks. You there? Yes, ma'am? Other than this piggy bank, was there anything else resembling a murder weapon found? We didn't find anything in this lounge or in the shop that could be used as one, madam. Most of the items could have been used were broken during the turbulence, and the remaining items all tested negative for any trace of blood. I see. Well, Miles Edgeworth, it appears that all stealth tactics are at an end. But it's possible that it's just hidden somewhere, sir. Eek! If the criminal had wanted to hide the weapon in a safer place, I think the weapon would have been hidden in the same place as the blood cloth. Exactly what I was thinking. Because the cloth was hidden inside that suitcase, it signals to me that the killer had not prepared a more secure place to hide the evidence. Which means that the real murder weapon is either still in the murderer's personage, or is that the real crime?
Objection.
There's one more possibility. And what would that be? That the piggy bank is in fact the real murder weapon. But didn't we just... Let me finish. The killer took the ink out of the display case before the turbulence by opening the lock on the display case door. And that was at the time the glass pane in the door was broken. I'd say that's perfectly reasonable line of reasoning, wouldn't you? Let's see. So that means the killer had the key to the display case. Francesca, the person you're talking about. Not so fast. I'm not finished. The person I'm talking about also committed another sin. She tricked the captain and granted you permission to conduct your investigation. Yes! It is the sin of lying. Speaking of which, I recall that you also wish to speak to her. Yes. Very well. Permission granted, but only if I can sit on in your interrogation. Do we understand each other? I have no intention of interrogating her. But you are welcome to accompany if you so wish. Miss Tendros and the flight attendants room. Let's move. So you're the one who poked around inside the plane without the captain's permission. Deviating from the flight attendant's manual is very unbecoming, you know. And she said she was a professional. Very many times. What were you hoping to accomplish by doing that? Miss Tanjiro. Ah, Mr. Edgeworth, you're here too? Can you please help us and shed some light on why you did what you did? Alright. Can I examine other things? It's pretty easy to tell who sleeps in which bug just by looking. It's almost certain that this well-kept one belongs to Miss Tanjiro. You, this bottom one, is a giant mess. You swollen scoundrel of a man. You dare scrutinize a woman's bed and invade her privacy? Yow! There's some things in life best keep to yourself, detective. Miles Edgeworth, isn't there you shouldn't be doing right now? Of course, I should be asking Miss Tanjiro for her side of the story. That's right. How does that have anything to do with what's over there? Nothing really. If you already knew that, then why didn't you hurry up with the interrogation already? Fine. Why did you lie about receiving the captain's permission like that? Because I didn't think I would be able to get his permission. What do you mean? The captain, he only has ears for Cammy. I spoke with the captain a little earlier myself. He definitely seemed to be rather taken with Miss Millie. Yes, and on top of that, I had mistakenly accused Mr. Edgeworth of being the killer. I wanted to make amends. In that case, please allow me to thank you for what you did. Thanks to you, I was able to clear myself of all charges. Really? You were able to prove your innocence? Oh, thank goodness. Miss Tanjiro, is it? There's one more thing I'd like to ask you. You were in the in-flight shop just before the turbulence, weren't you? Please answer honestly. Yes, I was. And why were you there? Well, Why the sudden hesitation? Francesca seems to have struck a nerve. Something she's good at, really. Before we do that, let's just shove all the evidence in her face again. I'm sorry, Mr. Edgeworth. I don't know how to answer to you. As a professional flight attendant, I'm a failure. You must be worn out from a long questioning session she just went through. This is probably going to be nothing of importance.
But you never know, okay?
Alright. Why did I go check up on the shop like I always do? You're saying that was for work then? Yes, I'm in charge of the shop, so I have to keep an eye on it. I don't have any reason to go there otherwise. After your visit to the shop, you paid a visit to this room, correct? Yes, I came back to freshen up and adjust my makeup. Sorry, but there isn't much else to tell. Miss Tanjiro claims to have no reason other than her duties to go to the shop. But is that all there is to it? Maybe I should ask her about that thing. This thing? If you could please take a look at this for me, Miss Tanjiro. Oh, that suitcase. Yes, about the suitcase. You're the one who designed it, correct? And I think I figured something else out about it. This suitcase is the reason you went to the shop, isn't it? There's nothing you won't find out eventually, is there? Hey, I'm a professional prosecutor. What would you please tell me more about the suitcase? Yes, I was interested in seeing how the suitcase I had designed were selling. I know that as a service professional, I'm not supposed to care. But I really wanted to know. I was glad to see that it was the last one there. Objection! There was 2 of them there. Ow. The last one there. Objection! So you're saying, Miss Tendra, that the suitcase in question was the last one? Yes. They're just so popular. They're practically flying off the shelf. That's not exactly the impression I got. The one in the shop is most definitely the last one. Well, we are currently looking at the suitcase. Really? And I guess we sold all of them. Thank you very much for taking the last one. I didn't say anything about buying it. I didn't say you'll buy it. I'm sorry, I can't. It's evidence. But why? It's evidence! I think it would go great with your complexion, Mr. Edgeworth. It really suits you. Yes! I guarantee it as personally as a service professional. Well, that is... How should I put this? It's hideous. Hey, at least Edgeworth is honest. He may be brutal, but he at least is honest. What? Maybe that was a bit too direct. No, it's fine. You're fine. Moving on. My issue with the suitcase isn't the design, but the number of them remaining. Remaining? There were 2 suitcases in the in-flight shop when I investigated it. 2? But that's impossible. I'm sure there was only 1. Looks like her story hasn't generated quite a contradiction. When I left the shop, I'm positive there was only 1 suitcase left. Something is amiss here. What could be the meaning of this inconsistency? Logic! By the way, Miss Tendro, what is one of those suitcases doing here? I thought you said there's only 1 left. That one is, it's mine. I've used it for a very long time now. She used it for a long time. I think not. Miss Tendro, I appreciate you if you wouldn't lie to me. Excuse me? I don't believe for even 1 second that you used this for a very long time. What proves that this hasn't been used nearly as long as Miss Tendro says?
Take that!
Tell me, Miss Tendro, is it also your habit to keep price tags on pristine on your suitcase? Ah! What's the meaning of this? Why would you lie about a suitcase? Despite having faith in her design and innocence, sales numbers made her cry bitter tears. The truth is becoming increasingly clear to me. Miss Tendro, I think I understand. I know what you're trying to hide. Now then, the suitcase originally was in... Seeing how the price tag is still on the suitcase, one can only assume that it was on the floor or in for sale in the shop. And the person who brought the suitcase was, well, it was her, obviously. It was you, wasn't it, Miss Tendro? I hate to say this, but that's the suitcase that you designed. It hasn't sold very well, hasn't it? You saw how poorly this design that you poured your heart into was selling. Or it deeply hurt. That's why you wanted to make it look like it was selling by buying it yourself. Isn't that right? But the reason you went to the shop and came back here was... I'm sorry. All I really have is my job. I was overjoyed when my design was chosen. I thought that maybe I finally accomplished something. But the suitcase didn't sell. It's because of the design, isn't it? All because it's, as you put it, hideous. I can't say they chose a great place which to sell them either. They weren't selling a single one, and they were just sitting there collecting dust.
Felt so bad seeing them there day in and day out. So I decided to buy one for every flight I worked.
You buy one. You buy one every single time you work a flight. I see. So in order to keep your resolution, you went and bought one today as well. Yes, and here's my receipt from that purchase. This receipt is clearly a timestamp for 5:40 a.m. The truth is, there's still a bunch of them left unsold. They're planning to scrap the remaining ones at the end of this flight. Miss Tenjiro, where are these other suitcases? They should be all downstairs in the cargo hold. Then the suitcase the killer used could very well become of the cargo hold. Mr. Edgeworth, you don't think that the killer used one of my suitcases too? Yes, I do. The killer used one of your beloved suitcases to move the victim's body. How could they? Those suitcases were meant to be faithful partners to our passengers on their trips. That's all I ever wish for them to be. Miss Tendro, is there any other way to get to the cargo hold other than the elevator? The only other way is just through that door there. What about security? That door has no special locks installed because just to enter this room, you need a special key card that only crew members have access to, which means that the culprit is someone who can enter this room, eliminating the passengers and only leaving crew members as potential suspects. I can't believe it. Yes, Francesca? Going on these wild goose chases. Are you a disgrace? You're a disgrace to the Von Karma name. And what do you mean by that? The suitcase came from the cargo hold? That fact alone tells the whole story. Yes, which is why I said the culprit must be a crew member who used their key card. Miles Edgeworth! You're proposing that the killer rode the elevator from the cargo hold, correct? Yes, that's the only realistic possibility. The other attendant, Miss Mealy. I asked her earlier, and she said this to say. Francesca got information out of Miss Mealy. In order to make the elevator go down to the cargo hold, a different key card is required. A different key one. Yes, and the only person who held that particular card is you, Miss Rona Tandrio. And only you. Ah! What? Is this true, Miss Tandrio? Yes, I keep that key card in my locker at all times. Could you please show us that card right now? Yes, hold on. Ah! I don't believe it! What's wrong? The key card. It's gone! Very clever. Pretending that your card was stolen, in fact that you're just trying to hide it from us. You really thought this through. Wait! It's not like that! You can tell us all about it when down at the station. Officer, arrest this woman. Yes, ma'am! Mr. Edgeworth. What's wrong? There's disbelief written all over your face. Francesca, I know that you're the lead investigator on this case. However, hold it. Don't even think about wasting any more of my time. You know the rules as well as I do. Evidence speaks louder than words. Even if this isn't a courtroom, the basic tenet still applies. I intend to investigate the cargo hold now. Well, you do, Miles Edgeworth. I intend to do likewise.
Okay, so normally this is where I would end.
But the reason I am not ending yet is because I don't have to worry about when I'm going to bed.
Also, we only been live for like an hour, so.
Where's 2:22 p.m. Play names it low deck cargo hold. Oh, so this is the cargo hold, huh? Like a child. It's so big! It's like a child. This plane is a special model. As opposed to a super large cargo hold an ultra luxurious first class evening. But this is the real scene of the murder. There's certainly a high probability of that, which is why we are here, correct? Okay, let's get investigating, sir. I was about to say whose partner. Holy suitcases, Mr. Edgeworth. It's like an all-you-can-use suitcase fair. This must be all the leftover ones that you couldn't sell. The ones the company is planning to dispose after this flight's over. The paint job is really cool, don't you think? It's practically screams artsy.
Then why don't you buy one, Edward Gumshoe?
Oh wait, you don't have any money. Oh, why not purchase one then? I'm sure it'll bring you much happiness. You think so? Then maybe I will. Let's see here. $1,200! No wonder why they couldn't sell. Let's see. How much do an average suitcase cost? Wait. How much does a suitcase typically cost? How much is a suitcase? I mean, I'm getting ones mostly from like, I'm getting mostly like $60 to like $80. So yeah, $1,200, that's a little much for a suitcase. I think I'll pass. I'm essentially I wonder why they don't sell. You need 2 jobs just to buy one. It definitely looks like one is missing. Huh. What is this brittle substance I'm stepping on? A bunch of glass fragments. Wait, hold on! I have some logic to connect. I think. I think we can safely conclude that the fragments are from a pair of glasses. And the victim was wearing a pair of broken glasses. Exactly what I was thinking. I'm sure that the shards would match up perfectly with the remains of his glass lenses. Ergo, the victim was here, as I suspected. So you're saying that the real scene of the crime was here, sir? Isn't that what I've been saying for a while now? Oh, is it? I didn't know that. Perhaps it's a bit too early to draw that conclusion. However, I believe that it's a possibility that the probability has skyrocketed certainly. All that's left to do is find the murder weapon. Alright, cool. I have no logic, though. I didn't know that this plane was capable of carrying such large pieces of cargo. This thing has this tool as tall as 2 of you who on top of each other, sir. It would probably take 20 of you to cover the entire surface of this monstrosity. What, really? Yeah, I guess it sounds about right. There's really no need to take that throwaway estimate seriously, detective. Keeping track of this many pieces of cargo must be very taxing on the cargo crew. I'm sure it brings back memories when I worked as a part-time mover, sir. By the looks of his eyes, he's waiting for me to ask about the rest of the story. But no matter how he pours on the puppy eyes, I have no intention of doing so. Good. No, I don't want to talk to the officer right now. Hey, what's with the suitcase, pal? It's one of the it was the victim's check-in, sir. The suitcase belongs to Mr. Hicks. I don't think you'd mind if we have a closer look. There's nothing out of the ordinary in here, sir. Wait, a file? There's a photo of Miss Von Karma in it, sir. Looks like a profile of Von Karma. Maybe Francesca wasn't here about me specifically. Maybe she was because she heard it was Mr. Hicks who died. I have some. Why would Mr. Hicks have a file on her? Oh, we'll have to talk to her. Have you noticed anything strange happening around here? No, sir, I have not noticed a thing. I'm not sure he meant to sound so obvious. Anything else to investigate? All sorts of boxes are piled up here. This one says flammable on this one. It says pharmaceuticals!
Ah, I know how to speak words.
This one says for exorcism use only. What kind of operation is this airline running? Oh, I just love pushing buttons in elevators and crosswalk singles. Here, you should give it all a try, sir. Go on, push it! The elevator is currently stopped on the first floor, detective. It can't move. Oh yeah, guess nothing would happen if you pushed it now. Well, nothing would happen normally anyways, but that's the special key card. Both the door of the attendance room and the elevator's control panel require a key card, which makes it impossible for the passengers to come down here. Alright, let's talk to Francesca. Actually, let's talk to Gumshoe first. Yes, sir? Cargo hold is really big. I can't believe they can fit stuff like this in here. Detective, what are you going on about? We're in the middle of an investigation. Whoa! Stuff's falling on me. Oh, I can't get really into my work with it. I can't really get into my work without something like this happening first. Well, let's get this show on the road. So which item do you want to start on? In this world, there's those who are masochists, and then there's Gumshoe. So that flight attendant, Rena Chandra, she's the killer, isn't she? I don't think we can say for sure yet. But there certainly are a great number of things pointing us in that direction. You mean like how she didn't tell us about her buying her own suitcase? Yes, however, regards to that keycard being stolen, I can't seem to find any evidence that she's lying about that. And we didn't get any new evidence, so there's no point. You arrived at the scene of the crime before Detective Gumshoe, correct? And then you immediately began to direct investigation. It seems to me that you were already here at the airport sometime before this murder. For something besides this murder. Yes, I was. I've been following a very large and involved government-level international crime. But this is much too large for one person to take on alone. So it was decided that I should form a joint investigation with Interpol. Interpol is involved. It's a top-secret operation, so I can't really tell you anything more than I already have. Alright, let's present evidence. There's something much more urgent we should be dealing with right now. Don't waste my time or yours. Understood! Hey, I am not wasting your time. That is the victim. It's infuriating seeing him crumble on the floor like this, lifeless. I will catch the one who did this to him myself. I swear it. Francesca is really worked up over this victim. What do you think about this piggy bank, Francesca? What do I think? What else is there to think that it is the murder weapon? I mean, what do you think about the iFly itself? It's a crude representation of a cunious primate, only commonly referred to as slow realist. Lotus coming from the Dutch word for simpleton, which is extremely fitting because that's exactly what Miss iFly represents. The guilty simpleton that I'm going to arrest. I don't suppose she's capable of giving a more normal answer. Victim. The fairy see him crumble for like this. I will catch him to do this himself. I show all the evidence to her and nothing. Oh wait, there is something new we can show Gumshoe. But pretty much I'm starting to think Cammy's the murderer, by the way. Or the captain. So yeah, let's show Gumshoe. The iFly receipts. Because there might not be anything. As for me, you shouldn't have, sir, but I'll gladly take anything you want to get. Hands off, detective. This item is related to the case. Oh, sir, what about it you want to ask me about? Forget I asked, detective. Wait, was there anything else that Francesca talked to Francesca about? Okay, no. So, I guess the only thing I can do is to put two and two together. Now, why would Mr. Hicks have documents profiling Francesca? Oh, I know. I bet he is a big fan of Miss Von Karma, sir. Francesca said that she had come to this airport as a part of an Interpol investigation. Oh, maybe Mr. Hicks heard she was coming here and followed her. Detective, I think it's more likely that Mr. Hicks was in actuality an Interpol. It was Interpol agent Hicks. I think Francesca has some explaining to do. You came to this airport to rendezvous with victims, didn't you? Nonsense! What are you talking about? We found a profile detailing the information about you and the victim's luggage. I suppose it was prepared for him so that he could recognize you when he landed. Which makes him not Mr. Hicks, but rather Interpol agent Hicks. Isn't that correct? I should have known you'd figure it out, Miles. Well, it looks like they've got to him first. So did you really come here to receive Interpol an Interpol agent then? Yes. Agent Hicks was on the trial of a very large international smuggling ring. He went undercover to investigate this crime. And it was I who put him on this case. I was supposed to receive a call from him his cell phone once he had landed. I never expected to receive a call about his murder instead. I think we now have pretty much definitive evidence that Agent Hicks came down here to the cargo hold. But what was he doing down here, sir? There's nothing but luggage. Oh, I get it. Maybe he forgot something in his suitcase and came down to get it. Ow! Agent Hicks came here for a work-related reason. Of that, I'm sure. Yes, I'm sure he was here to investigate the smuggling operation he was observing. Francesca, do you know exactly what he intended to pursue on his investigation? No. Unfortunately, I was going to find out from him after he landed. I see. But this raises another question. A normal passenger can't access the cargo hold on their own. Agent Hicks must have identified himself to a member of the crew and entered the cargo hold with that person who left him in. Yes, and then he was murdered here. These glass fragments and his broken glasses are a testament to that. And then the killer put Agent Hicks into the spare suitcase. He entered the elevator while they were riding up. The plane hit that patch of turbulence. Because of that intense shaking, a suitcase popped open and Agent Hicks' body flew out. At the same time, his wallet fell out of his pocket, spilling the contents everywhere. Which explains why there was money scattered all over the elevator floor. Nailed it! I think it's pretty easy to say who the culprit is at this stage. What? Really, sir? I know that what you're thinking, Miles Edgeworth. But the killer can be none other than Miss Rana Tandro. If it was a crew member, any of them could have shown Agent Hicks the cargo hold. But the point to keep in mind is that the car key allows the elevator to come back down here. The only person with such a high level access is Miss Rana Tandro. I say that it's a pretty decisive piece of information point of view. I know what she's trying to say, but I'm not certain it's as simple as that.
Hold it!
That might be true, but then it could be anyone, including Miss Meal or even the captain. Don't be a fool. A plane without a pilot in the cockpit is like a horse without a rider, chopped in hand. Much like Scruffy over there. Hey! Nay!
Sorry, I was trying to sound horse-like.
I can't disagree with her on that.
The gumshoe does need a guiding hand. It does always need a guiding hand. Very well, then what about the other flight attendant, Miss Mealy?
I thought you might ask about her.
Hold it.
But it's highly likely that the key card stolen was from Miss Tendra.
Objection.
It's highly likely? Is that possibility the best you can come up with? And you call yourself a disciple of my father.
Ah! Yes, well, I don't have any evidence. Be quiet. You're a disgrace. There's more evidence pointing to Miss Rona Tendro, you know. That's just the key card that gives her away.
Are you talking about the murder weapon and the iFly of Mr. Piggy Bank?
Yes, and she also is the only person with a key to open this display case.
That was
Further, that's a matter of the key. It's to display the case that held the murderous bank.
Hold it.
But that is the fake. Stop right there, Miles Edgeworth. You don't have any proof that this is just a red herring. You must keep insisting that it's a fake. And what's the real murder weapon and where did it go? Speechless, I see. That's not a surprise. After all, you know that we searched the entire cargo hold and came up empty-handed. There must be a way. There must be something that can help me rule out the piggy bank as a murder weapon. What should I examine further to help us accentuate the body? Francesca, I think you were too quick to jump to your conclusion. Oh, was I? Yes, you don't even have the observatory report results yet. How can you say it made that snap judgment when you have yet to see? If the wound on Agent Hicks' head is consistent with the murder weapon. Scruffy! Yes, sir? Contact the medical examiner's office at once. I wish to hear the results of Agent Hicks' autopsy. Yeek!
yes, sir. We got a big problem, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. God. Oh, it matches the iFly. What is it, detective? They're still doing the observatory, but they already said that they know one thing's for sure. Report now. The doc says that it's one giant bruise from a beating from the back of his shoulders down to his mid back. The victim's shoulder to his mid back. He was beaten over such a wide area. Well, I'd say maybe it's a sign that the killer had a grudge against Mr. Agent Hicks. It wasn't just his head. The killer went all about. Oh, and hit him multiple times, sir. Scruffy! What is had a grudge against Mr. Hicks supposed to mean? Well, that is, it was the wound on the victim's head consistent with the murder weapon, detective. Oh, well, they said they weren't looking into that, sir. You're completely useless. Yow! Sir, I told you already, you can't go down there. No, you remove yourself my way. What is all that racket? My luggage, my cargo, they're mine. I demand them you return them to me. We're still investigating the cargo hold. Please understand. Have a little patience. I suppose there's no choice. Finally, I think he gave. Hey, what are you? You leave me no choice but to use strong force. Arrgh! You won't get past me. Wait, that's it. That's this whole thing has been about. Further, this is the matter to the key.
Furthermore, there was a matter of... After all, you know that you searched and came up empty-handed. Zach said it was one giant bruise from the beating of the shoulder to his mid-back. Wait. Okay. So I think I was right with the cause of death and the weapon could be found. If not, it's cause of death and smuggling. Okay. Allegedly, the killer struck the victim many times, which is why there is extensive briefing over such a wide area. But is that really the correct conclusion to draw from the evidence? The bruise from his shoulders and mid-back is one continuous mark, which is more suggestive of a single blow to the back. If that's the case, then the piggy bank is too small for that to have caused. Therefore, the murder weapon must be something far bigger. If we're looking for a rather large weapon, you'd think it would stick out. But so far, we haven't found anything that resembles a weapon of any sort. Perhaps, just perhaps, it's something we all overlooked from the very beginning. Because normally, it's too impossibly big to be taken into consideration. What was all that about? Is he trying to jump his way down here? Francesca. What do you want? I found it, Francesca. I found the real murder weapon. You did? He really jumped. We didn't realize it until now. The answer has been right in front of us this whole time. He might be hurt. We should go check up on him, sirs. That prodigious attitude of yours again. You should learn to drop that habit. This is coming from a prosecutor with the habit of whipping everyone she comes across. Anyways, if you really are a prosecutor, then you always back yourself up with evidence. You two aren't listening to you at all, are you? Come on, then show me this real murder weapon you speak of. I don't have evidence to show. I don't have any evidence to show you. Foolishly reasoning for a foolish from a foolishly foolish fool who meant to fool me. What do you mean by I don't have any evidence to show? Perhaps I have phrased it that as which caused Agent Hicks' death interoperable. Forgive me, but I do believe that I figured out what the real cause of death. And he free falling. The victim fell from a great height and subsequently died as a result. In other words, the real cause of death is free falling to the ground. He fell to his death? Yes, this is the only plausible possibility. The victim has extensive bruising on the back of his head and back, and the only rational explanation for these injuries is that he fell to his death. But the murder happened inside this plane. I know. Are you claiming that there is some place in this plane which he could have fallen from? As I said earlier, the answer has been right in front of us the entire time. You can't mean. Yes, I do. The victim fell from the top of the stairs of this very cargo hold. What? Then, we're in trouble. We may have a second death on our hands here, sirs. Hey, you! Tell me, are you not dead, pal? Quiet! Why are you screaming? Good, he's alive. He's alive. And there you have it, Miles Edgeworth. It's not possible that Agent Hex fell over the railing to his death. That means
That man is living a proof of that. I suppose it's true that it's not possible given the current circumstances.
the current circumstances? What's that supposed to mean? Suppose that a large piece of cargo wasn't there at the time. What would have happened then? He would have been a Brazilian pancake for sure, sir. I suppose that man over there wouldn't still be breathing. The reality is that the cargo box is there. So there's no point to entertaining your wild hypothetical scenario. It may be there's now, but there's no proof that it was always there. Ha! As if you could, there'd been a window of time when that giant box is not there. Ah, but there was. What? And can I assure her that it's possible the box was not inside there the whole time?
Take that!
Curie Field in the Republic of Zhengfa? Yes, that flight had a short layover in Zhengfa in order to refuel. That wasn't the only reason for the layover. We also transferred some cargo. What if the box in question was only transferred into the plane at the time? To further prove my point, let's take a look at what happened next. Let's take a look at what's happened next to the box in question. It's labeled Zhengfa Express. Correct. Meaning it was loaded onto the plane in Zhengfa. Now then, what if the box in question was also loaded at the same time? It would mean that the box was not on the cargo hold during in the Europe. Senkai is like a fight. Making a clear drop in which Ancient Hit could have fallen to his death is entirely possible. But your theory is still far-fetched. Now allow me the chance to prove how very likely my scenario is. My first order of business will be to examine that piece of cargo in a little more detail. Keep track of this many pieces of cargo must be taxing on the cargo crew. Her is waiting for me to ask the rest of the story. But no matter how he pours his puppy does have no intention of doing so. This is a rather large piece of cargo. There's a tag on it, sir. Let's see. Alfred statue. Never heard of it. Nor I. But all I care about is that if we can prove that I wasn't here at the scene. Let's get investigating, sir. Look here! Don't go about touching my possessions without my permission! Don't rush up on me like that, pal. That belongs to Mr. Labrick, doesn't it? I should see what else I can find out from him. I think it that this large piece of cargo belongs to you, Mr. Labrick. Of course it is mine. I shipped this fine piece of art from Europe. This Alfred statue is worth 10 million cents. No, maybe much more. Mr. Labrick's reasoning for choosing this plane must have been the large cargo hold. 10 million cents. I suggest you stop trying to calculate how many packs of needles that makes, detective. Darn! How did you know to do that?
Okay, so let's do this. Okay, so we're gonna go with typical ramen.
So,
Okay, so we are going to go with 36 cents at Walmart. So all we have to do is divide 10 million by 36. It would be 277,777.7777 packs of ramen.
every year. So I grew with each revolution on the planet. So I grew with each revolution on the planet of the sun. I have the distinct impression that he continues to madly spin in place. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, so about the 10 million cents. Is it that euros or dollars? Oh fuck, I forgot to calculate what currency! Does it really make a difference to our case? Miss Labyrinth, is there a chance that your cargo is related to our murder case? I was wondering if you would allow us to examine it a bit closer. It's a very valuable piece of art, so no, there's no touching. Can I make some logic conclusions here? This might hurt me. No! If Miss Lebrick had something to do with the smuggling ring, then it's possible this fake statue was brought on board and sang by. I think I need to question it a bit further. About your statue, Miss Labyrinth. I wonder if it might be a fake. But what? How dare you say my art is fake? I suspect that your statue might be the target of an international smuggling ring. Since you say such magical things, those thieves would not dare. I have a certain certification of my cargo right here. Do you mean the cargo certification document? This thing's labyrinth. Why didn't you say so earlier? Please show it to us at once. I can't read this. What does it say? It says as plain as the day, the cargo was put into this plane in Europe. And there you have it, Miles Edgeworth. Too bad for you. The statue was brought on board in Europe, just as it states in the first certification. No, which means there's never a window of time in which the statue wasn't sitting here. I respectfully disagree. I can't discount this here until I see the statue for myself. Then you have it your wish. Look at it yourself. See, and I'm right. This. I know I've seen it somewhere before. This is the elf thread. It gives off such a feeling of art. I can practically smell it. The statue has a high amount of historic value. I mean, yes, we've seen it before. After it was unveiled at the museum in Europe, I brought it to this country to exhibit. I believe a closer look is warranted here. So this is the infamous Alfred section. What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? Did you find something? There's something wrong with this picture. We should examine it in more detail. Are these eyes made of some sort of gem? That's a real nice shade of orange. For a second, I couldn't tell if they were jewels. They currently remind me of this stray cat that lives near my house. Are those eyes supposed to be this color? It's possible the statue is a fake. This is a nice game of spot the difference. So I'm gonna deduce. Woo! These eyes are awfully orange, don't you think? Yeah, and pretty. They remind me of the sunset when I was in grade school, sir. I don't think you see what I'm talking about. No, I do, but it's really like the color of the sun when it's setting, sir. Ah, the memories. I remember standing out in the field spinning with my arms out until I fell ill. I don't care about the sunsets. Focus, detective. What color are the eyes in this photo? Ah! Sir, they are red! As I thought, the statue is a fake. Miss Labyrinth, what do you want? Do you not know I am a busy man? I allow you 2 seconds for your answer. The Alfred, I suppose, is your pride and joy, is it not? The biggest trophy in on this European trip. Do you know why I want to possess this statue? The trigger started 17 years ago. Better grab a chair, sir. It sounds like this is going to be a long story. Miss Labrick, I regret to inform you that, and you have my heartfelt sympathy.
But what is it? Sympathy? What for? You see, I would like you to compare these eyes. That large fellow has very bright, pretty eyes compared to you. I wasn't talking about the two of us. I meant the eyes of the statue in front of us and the one in this photo. What is sounding yelling? Now then, oh. Is this a photo of the statue on display at the museum in Europe? Yeah! Now, do you see, Mr. Lomberg? The statue before us is a fake. Ah, fake! I believe that with further investigation will be required. Now that we have confirmed that this is indeed a fake, there must be some sort of proof that this was brought on board on Sen 5. I will present you evidence that resolves the remaining contradiction. So this outfit is the rough. The Arc dealer isn't looking too happy about it either, sir. I will get to the bottom of this for his sake as well as mine. Since the F-Red is a fake, the Arc dealer.
What do I have for evidence? What's this? Statue looks like it's stepping all over the neighbor's post house. Kind of levels its owner in a semblance. Ho! You, what did you say now? Because my closing hen is not being stepped by him, but it's too expensive for me to allow that to happen. Please forgive the trespasses of my subordinates. Why should I forgive the dress passes, unless if it's the expensive dress, you keep it? Please forgive the detective.
There's clearly a contradiction here. What are you going on about? It's just a simple case of cargo getting covered, stuck in a piece of cargo.
Ah, that's not possible. But it is. It shouldn't be this way. But the statue is on top of the cloth.
Supposing that the neighboring piece of cargo was bought
brought on board and stuff, huh? There's no way that any part of it should be wind up under something from Europe.
Therefore, this came from Europe. Which means that this fake statue was smuggled on board and sent back.
Then what about the cargo certificate?
Let me ask you in return about Agent Hicks.
What about Agent Hicks? Why did he come down here in the middle of the flight? There's only one reason why. To secure proof of smuggling activity aboard this flight. So you say, but I don't believe that he had to do that mid-flight. He could have just easily inspected all the cargo after the plane landed. That may be true, however. You have it backwards, Francesco. Sure, Agent Hicks could have waited until after the plane landed, but he had a reason for coming down to the cargo hold. Suppose he found the fake at the airport. It would have been after the swap has occurred. At that time, the suspicion nearly fell into the statue's owner. He would have no way to prove that the statue was switched without his knowledge, which means there's someone involved in who's forging or modifying cargo certifications. I guess the victim knew that the real version of this was going to get nabbed, huh? Yes, well, this photo could have been nothing more than a simple souvenir. It was in fact taken to be as a reference document later on. Next, Agent Hicks had to secure proof that the smuggling had taken place. He came down here to take a picture of the cargo hold. A rather empty one at that, right before the fake statue could be loaded on board. A photo of the missing and valuable piece of cargo would be proof enough. After that, all he had to do was hold this thing if a cargo crew and arrest the smuggler. Exactly. This only goes to prove my theory. If the statue was not on board, the statue was not the cargo hold during the Europe's leg of the trip, then there would have been enough height which Agent Hicks could have fallen to his death. Officer! Move the statue immediately. I want a thorough examination of the floor underneath, now! Miss Von Karma, I'm ready to report my findings. Go on. After moving the Alfred statue out of the way, we tested the area under with Lumira, and there was a reaction. I see there was a reaction to Lumira, an indication that there was blood on that spot. Yeah. Can we stop looking at it now, sirs? It would seem that my deductions were correct after all. I suppose it would appear that way. The culprit cleaned the blood as well. How do you think the killer did that? How did the killer clean up the blood?
Take that!
The killer used the bloody cloths I found inside the suitcase for cleaning up the mess. I see. He needed to clean up all the blood before the plane landed in Senfa. Yes, because otherwise the cargo crew would have discovered it during the layover. So you guys saying that the murder happened before the plane landed in Senfa? There's no other conceivable timeline for the events of the murder. But if that's true, then that throws a certain person's testimony into doubt. If the murder occurred before we landed in Senfa, then this becomes highly suspect. Miss Meals! Recall Miss Meals' testimony about Agent Hicks in regard to when we departed Senfa. I saw Mr. Hicks in his seat at 5 a.m., you know. She claims that Agent Hicks was alive at the time of the service call, but that totally contradicts the facts, sir. But why would she lie about something like that? I think the only person who can answer that is Miss Meals herself.
We're just gonna finish this episode, okay? But before we do that, we're gonna do the tradition of waiting until we get to the music.
March 12th, 3:35 p.m. at Flight Lower Deck Curtain Hole.
Alright, we're gonna take a break so I can get some water and stuff, because my voice is dry. Alright, I'm back. Miss Meal. Miss Meal! Huh? If you recall what you said earlier, about when you answered the service calls we were departing from Zenpa, you said that Mr. Hicks was sitting in his seat at that time. However, that is simply not possible. Because Mr. Hicks was dead long before we touched it down in the Zenpa. Oh. Cammy Meal. I didn't do what I thought I did. You know, make mistakes so large, Miss Meal. I'm not gonna boo-boo all the time. Yeah! This is going nowhere. There must be a better way of resolving this contradiction. Very well, Miss Meal. If you please tell me about your alibi during the time span. Just before we were to land at 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. when the body was found. Are you telling me I'm suspect Mr. Edwards? Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. Oh yeah. From 3 to 4, I was in the flight attendant. I'm all by my own. Oh no, yeah. From 5 to 6, I was in the flight attendant. I'm all by my lonesome self. How's a man supposed to react to a testimony like that? Miss Meal, wake up! She fell asleep again. Looks like the only way I'm gonna be able to wake her is by pressing her. Ooh, pressing, my favorite. Not that kind of way! Not that kind of way! Okay? Not that kind of way! Not that kind of way! Press guessing as in getting answers. Would not do anything dirty. Also, I think it's like confirmed that Edward still has like no interest in women, so guess he's gay. Why do I keep bringing up Phoenix? This game isn't about Phoenix.
Hold it.
Miss Neil, wake up! Awake, I'm awake. Miles Edwards, I demand that you do something about this flight attendant this instant. Why ask me to wake her when you can finally put that whip to an appropriate use? What did you say? I was in the flight all by my lonesome. All by my lonesome self.
Hold it.
I remember correctly, food was being served in the first class in the lounge between the hours of 3 and 4 a.m. Yeah, but that kind of stuff is not having wrong now. So what were you doing in the attendance room within that time? Eating and then having some most delicious dream. You mean you were neglecting your duties? No way. Sleeping is part of our job too, you know. Oh, yeah.
Hold it.
Miss Beeling, how many times do I have to repeat myself? Wake up! I'm awake. Ouch! What'd you make me for, sir? Oh, what did I miss? A prospective being on the receiving end of a lash in your steed. Really? Sorry about that. You can make amends for it by continuing with your testimony. And from 5 to 6, I was in the flight attendant's room all by my own. So,
Hold it.
So you're alone the entire time, were you?
yeah, no one even popped their head in and say hi. Sorry, I need to put my... Oh, well, I think we have a contradiction.
Well, I think a contradiction just to pop in and say hi. What should I do? Should I raise an objection?
I'm not in doubt, but... Objection! Miss Neal, there's a clear contradiction embedding in your testimony. Huh? What are you talking about? It's not possible that you were alone in the attendance room the whole time from 5 to 6 a.m. Just as my turn at the time does be about to take this at 5:40 a.m. Okay, that's the thing at the back.
Take that.
I wonder if you'd be so to take a look at this receipt, Mr. Emil. Huh? Receipt? For what? It's for the suitcase Miss Hendro brought.
Now, if I may direct your attention to the timestamp.
As you can see, it clearly says 5:48, Miss Hendro. Yes? Well, what's the color here? I thought you had her locked up by now. I requested that you be present as a witness so that we may straighten out your complex lie. Now then, Miss Hendro, between the hours of 5 and 6 a.m., you took a trip from first class down to the first floor in-flight shop, correct? Yes, I went to the shop to buy a suitcase. After which I went straight to the attendance room to drop it off. And did you see Miss Mailer there at the time? No. So, Miss Mailer, where were you in between the hours of 5 and 6 a.m.? Miss Cammy Mill! Huh? The bathroom? For a whole hour? You were in the bathroom for a whole hour? I'll be the one to ask the questions here. Yeah, maybe that's it. I probably just missed her. Nature calls, you know. You take me for a fool. It's a little too convenient to be true. But it's the truth. Cross my heart. I don't have enough conclusions
exclusive groups can't argue her at this stage. You don't believe me, do you? But please, won't you give me a chance to hear me out? Look, now you're suspecting me because I'm one of the crew. But you think maybe you should also suspect Miss Rona too? She's the one in charge of the elevator key in the shop, you know? If you ask me, that makes her super suspicious. Please let Miss Sandra out of the conversation. Only you are under suspicion for now. I don't get it. Why are you for Miss Rona all of a sudden? Oh, now I get it. Maybe you've got your eye on Miss Rona. Of course. I'm keeping an eye on her. I can't very well let her escape, can I? Never mind. But you want to know something? Miss Rona actually kind of like... I have absolutely no interest in people who can't appreciate my sense of design. And I... Now this is no time. This is not time for this sort of talk. I think it's me because I'm part of the crew.
Hold it.
No, it's not the only reason I have her suspecting you. Your statement regarding Miss Hicks turns out to be a bunch of lies. Ah, but I wasn't an. But I say I wasn't an attendant. You wouldn't expect me then, would you? Yes. Suppose that's true enough. I think maybe you should also suspect Miss Rona too.
Hold it.
She's already been detained for further questioning, or have you already forgotten? Oh yeah, I guess I just forgot. Maybe you suspect me too. Sorry, can't help it. No one else could have done it. I can't believe you would think that. I mean, me, a killer? Miss Meal? What do you mean just now by no one else who could have done it? She's someone in charge of the elevator key in the shop, you know?
Hold it.
What are you in charge of, Miss Meal? I take care of the attendance room. That doesn't count. Aw, but I spent so much time in there. Might as well be my responsibility. Sergeant Cammy is very well talented in languages. So she assists passengers who may not speak English, especially those who speak Bordeaux. She's the only one on this flight who's fluent. Oh, you mean that kind of... What am I in charge of? Why didn't you say so in the first place? What else could have I meant? Yeah, so I'm really good at Bonian. She's fluent in Bonian. And I suppose you're in charge of processing documents in Bonian. Yeah, I take care of things that has to do with Bonian. Very interesting. If you ask me, that makes her super suspicious.
Hold it.
Actually, you're on the job behavior makes you super suspicious in my eyes. Huh? But why? Well, Miss Tindra was busy with the passengers and all of her other duties. You have a lot of free time on your hands, thus proving you have ample time to commit the crime.
Objection.
Mouse Edgeworth, I demand that you cease and desist this line of inter question. I won't allow you to bluff your way through this like a certain defense lawyer. Obviously referring to Phoenix. That's his specialty after all, bluffing his way until something comes away. But I do not honestly believe Miss Mealy does any actual work about her at this point. Well, that's not true, Miss Chris. Although, well... All I'm in charge of is attendance room and some Bogie and stuff.
Hold it.
So what exactly do you do as one in charge of some Bogie and stuff? I do stuff like translate things from and into Bulgarian. Cammy is the only member of the crew who understands Bulgarian, Mr. Edgeworth. Miss Meal, I take it then here is your job to process all the Bulgarian work? Yeah, sure. I totally put my weight around here. So it would appear. Perhaps I should ask her for a few more details about her work and... Miss Meal, it's very unladylike to push suspicion onto someone else. Oh, just saying that Mr. Hunter is very sus. There you go, pushing everything onto her again. I get what you're saying. It must be a really abstract concept, huh? The only thing abstract here is the landscape inside your head. That's not what I'm looking for. Objection! So you're the only one in this group who can speak Bogan. Is that correct? Yeah, I guess so. I studied abroad in Abogia for a while. So if that's the case, then the signature on this document belongs to you, doesn't it? This is a falsified piece of document with only one purpose: to lead anyone who reads it to believe that Miss Labyrinth's statue was lived in Europe. The only person who could have either prepared or processed this document in Bogan is you, Miss Neal. Is that your participation? Smuggling of the Alpha Red could not have occurred. Don't sleep while I'm pointing my finger at you. Oh, that's one of my favorite lines of this entire game. Don't sleep while I'm pointing my finger at you. I wouldn't dream of falling asleep on you, Mr. Edgeworth. Exactly as you said. Are you confessing to having participating in smuggling? No, far from it. It's true that I'm the one who signed off that document. But you can't use that fact alone to make your accusation of smuggling stick. No direct correlation at all. All you have is my signature on the piece of paper. Really, all you did was sign it. And neglected to check if the cargo has been loaded onto the plane properly. Sorry about that. It seems that she's finally woken up. This is gonna be a one-tough fight. Suppose. This is just superstition. Even if I was involved in smuggling, you can't throw the charge of murder on me like that.
Objection!
If you were involved in the smuggling, you would have a strong motive to kill. Agent Hicks was in the middle of an investigation regarding a smuggling ring. Just when he was about to close in, he was killed by a member of that ring. Did you ever think that maybe Rona's in the smuggling member? After all, unlike me, Rona has access to many things on this plane for work purposes. So perhaps there's some element of setup at play in this case. What are you talking about? Don't worry, I wasn't talking about you. I meant the killer. First, it was myself. Now it's Miss Hendro, who's under the microscope. It seems to me that our killer is going to great lengths to pin this crime on anyone that came. I have no proof that Rona is being a setup, or that she isn't. Actually, I believe that she was indeed the intended target from the very beginning. I believe that the plane was to push all the blame for that crime onto her. And this evidence will prove my suspicion. This proves that the killer was absolutely framed with Syndrome from the very beginning. These are the suitcase and the piggy bank. So let's try the piggy bank first. Sensing something is dangerous? I'm afraid you will fail to do it. Talk about his Dr. Sleepy Mr. Hyde's sickle transformation.
Take that!
The killer could have hidden the body anywhere, yet they chose the suitcase. Why is that? Perhaps it was to move the body from the lower deck to the first floor. However, why go through the trouble to do so? The only way of these actions makes sense.
is that the killer wanted to frame Messendro for the murder. Messendro buys the suitcase on every flight she works without fail. But should her suitcase be switched with the one containing the victim's body, that would put her in a very tight spot. Unfortunately for the killer, the turbulence put an end to that plan. There wasn't enough time for the body to put back in the suit. Ergo, they may have do with whoever was at hand and adapted their plan, and tried to frame me as I laid unconscious on the floor from the turbulence. The killer then had the suitcase in the flight shop, and brought the piggy bank back to the elevator in order to fabricate a false weapon. A lot of work for a fruitless endeavor, wouldn't you agree? Sounds like the killer had a tough time too, huh? I mean, why would the killer need to frame someone like that badly anyways? That's because of the special circumstances surrounding this particular case. What special circumstances did the killer would need to frame somebody? Who the murder? The killer was at loss, so to do with Agent Hick's body. But as it just happened, there was a bunch of empty suitcases nearby. Being a skinny man, the killer thought to put the body in the suitcase and hand it off. And that whole plan was to frame someone in an elaborate coincidence? No, that's not what I said. You're wrongly deduced my meaning with me. The one who is with the right deduction. Think before you speak again. Yeah! Patience, Francesca. I was about to reveal the truth. The murder took place before the movie's schedule would go on. Around that time, almost all the passengers had returned to their seats. Therefore, the killer had to choose someone who would not be at the seat at the front. Isn't that explaining how the killer chooses his mind? We're gonna talk about it completely better. What if I take a nap? Oh, hold on! I'm just getting to the heat of my argument. That's how circumstances the killer had. The social circumstance is simply that the murder took place on a plane mid-flight. No matter which country, customs is quite strict on this day and age. No matter what you do, the chances that the body will be found is very high. Therefore, there was no chance but to frame either Miss Tanger or myself. In other words, the only one who fits the boundaries of this criminal's movements is not Miss Tendra or myself, but you, Miss Cammy Meal. Only you and you alone can be the killer. And? Are you done already? I was about to fall asleep again. Anyways, let's be honest here. Do you really have anything on me other than the whole lot of circumstances evidence? I can see the outline of how this murder occurred, but I have no definitive evidence. This isn't there a piece of evidence that still is unaccounted for? Something that I can quite fit into the big picture? His phone!
Take that!
I don't have any actual evidence. Though I thought not. But that's because it went missing, and still is. Missing? What do you mean by that? In the complex puzzle of this case, there's one piece I keep getting stuck on, and that is the victim's cell phone. Francesca, you were waiting at the airport for a phone call from Agent Hick's cell phone. Or at least that's what you told me. That's right! But Agent Hick's cell phone could not be found at the crime scene. You mean the killer took the phone with them? Precisely. I suspect that if we were to find that phone, it would lead us to the killer. Oh, come on, kid's serious. If the victim fell to his death from that height, wouldn't his phone break as well? We wouldn't know that until we tried the little experiment, will we? Francesca, I would like to ask you for your assistance. You know the victim's phone number, do you not? Of course I do. Agent Hick's phone. It's ringing from somewhere, sir. I hear it, detective. Now, where is it coming from? Miss Meal, wake up. Sorry, Mr. Edwards. Not sleepy, listen. It sounds like a level I used to love as a child. Nah! I better find that cell phone fast. We've determined that the real crime scene is here. All that's left to catch the killer. Wait. Isn't it? Sounds like the phone is up in the flight attendant's room. You better hurry. It's the flight attendant's room, sir. Running! March 4th, 412. First place 4, flight attendant's room. The phone's coming from somewhere here, sir. Leave no stone unturned on Gumshoe. Find it. We must find it. It doesn't seem to be over here. Let's look somewhere else, sir. The ring is coming from somewhere around here. But it's not here, sir. Why do I have such a bad feeling about where we're going to find the phone? What? No, it can't be. It's gotta be the victim's cell phone. Whose locker is this, sir? It's Miss Tendra's. What? Oh, Mr. Edris, how did it go? Where did you find the phone? I found it in the flight attendant's room, in Miss Tendra's locker. What? But Rhoda Tendra! I don't know anything about that phone. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. It's phone karma, is it? I suggest that you arrest Miss Rona right away. Well, technically, she's already arrested.
Objection!
Wait! I have a theory. This is related to the incident with the keycard. When the killer went to steal the keycard, they conveniently stashed the cell phone in Miss Tendra's locker at the same time. This is related to the keycard, alright. The same way, we have zero proof that the killer just did just that. The only voice that distinguishes the truth is evidence. That is the one word we cannot ignore. What should I do? Cheska's right. I can't offer a basis contrast at this point. Alright then. Why does the culprit take the cell phone from making pics? It must have been something very incriminating in or on it or in it.
Hold it!
What now, Miles Edgeworth? It's not over yet. We have yet to figure out why the killer took the phone. What? Inside this phone lies the final piece of incriminating evidence that will point us to our killer. We need to examine this phone in more detail. Turn it out, turn it around. Ah, it's a camera lens. Come to think of it, I wonder, how exactly was Agent Hank planning and preserve the crime scene of smuggling? Francesca, I need you to confirm something. This cell phone, can it take pictures? Mr. Edgeworth, I can't believe you don't know about this kind of basic stuff, sir. This looks like a very similar model to my own. Mine can take photographs just fine. Do you think Agent Hicks could have taken some pictures of it? In particular, pictures as evidence for a smuggling case. I would say there may be some very inconvenient photos in here for our killer smuggler. The phone's all busted up, sir. Even a super prosecutor can't repair a broken phone. Gah! I'll find a way, don't you worry about that! Maybe I'll go back to sleep now. May I go back to sleep now?
Objection!
Yeah, the CLO screens on the inside and the outside are broken, that's for sure. But the fact that Elsa reasoned enough to believe that the killer wasn't able to erase the data. What? What do you mean by that, Francesca? It looks like our killer isn't very familiar with electronics. This phone is still rang. This phone still rang when I called it, meaning only the LCD screens are broken. It's possible that the photos are still inside, waiting to be accessed. All we need to do is transfer the data to my phone. Francesca, your phone, if you please. Very well. It's transferring. Alright, displaying it now. This is... Agent Hicks most certainly is trying to obtain some evidence for smuggling. Hey! Alfred Red nowhere in place, sir. This has no meaning as a piece of evidence as in this murder case, right? Ouch, she's right. There's not one we can find an aging Higgs killer, sir. Is this it? Is this the end? Is there really nothing that this photo can use? What's all this? Oh, there are cargo ships from Bogia to Senfa. So the reason they aren't here now is so that they were dropped off in Senfa. Miss Lambert, can you tell me the context of these boxes? Unfortunately, there is no English written on them anywhere. One cluster is boxes written in Bulgarish. I say it's sensitive or cloth in English. Cloth. Could it be? Is this where the killer? What is that scary face, Miss Meal? Yes. It appears that Agent Hicks is now no ordinary investigator. He left us with a piece of evidence, after all. A striking piece that will point out who his killer is. Ha! Maybe you shouldn't force your mistake reading a simple picture, Mr. Edgeworth. The emotion.
Take that!
What's that supposed to prove? The killer used the piece of cloth to wipe up the blood they had spilled. But there was one thing that bothered me this whole time. Where did it come from? And now I finally found my answer in this very photo. The cargo was unloaded in Senfa, had cloth written on it. In Bulgarish, that is. And this is where the killer grabbed the piece to clean up with the blood with. That's right. The killer was someone who could read and understand Bulgarian. The only crew member that fits that description is you, Miss Camille. Ha! That's pretty flimsy. The killer probably searched through all the boxes looking for something to use. When you're frantic, you don't care if the box is in English or Bulgarian. Sorry, but I cannot agree with you. Your assumptions on the killer is indiscriminate nature. What? There's no need for the killer to tear through the boxes at random at all. And all the killers supposedly cannot comprehend the Bulgarian. Well, then, logically, the killer would have to open this box first.
Take that!
This proves us what you know how to read Bulgarian. Where? You don't fool me. Don't pretend you don't know what I'm seeing talking about. I don't understand either. I don't get it at all, sir. Alright then, I will show you all once again in a more understandable fashion. You don't fool me. Don't pretend as you know what you're talking about. Wait, wouldn't it be this box?
Take that!
Hey, it says bed sheets in English right on the box, sir. Precisely. And the bed sheets would be perfect for cleaning up blood, wouldn't you say? So what are you trying to say? If I were the criminal, this box of bed sheets would have been I would spotted first. However, the killer chose to use some Bulgarian's cloth. Do you have any explanation for that? The killer didn't want anyone to know that the real scene of the crime was this cargo hold, so they were afraid to leave signs that the box with sheets has been opened. However, the Bulgarian cloth, that horse is of a different color. It's because the killer knew that it was going to be loaded off in the Republic of Senfa. That's right. That's why the sheets of Bulgarian cloth was used. And the only Bulgarian reader on board who could make such a calculated decision is you, Camille, and you alone. No! It would be very easy for us to confirm if any of the boxes were resealed. All we have to do is contact the Senfa authorities in time. We may even find other evidence to incriminate our killer is in these boxes. Grrr. So what do you say, Miss Meal? Why not confess to your crimes right here and now? Or would you rather wait to see what we find out from our investigation in Senfa? Ooh. Interpol. I couldn't stop it. I brought him here. He started talking, taking pictures. I couldn't be found out. I was scared. I was in trouble. I. We finished making all the arrangements to make sure the suspects take the suspect in, sir. Very good, detective. What about the smuggling route? Did she say anything about that? They're talking her down to the precinct now. Hopefully we can get more out of her there. Whenever we approached the topic, she just started foaming at the mouth. It was scary, sir. She probably wasn't prepared to commit to murder all of a sudden. One thing's for sure, right behind this whole mess, it means serious business. It looks like there's a lot more to this case than meets the eye. Mr. Edgeworth? I just wanted to say how much I appreciate everything you did. Thank you so much. It was nothing. In fact, I should be the one thanking you for your cooperation. But truthfully, if it wasn't for you, I might not be here right now. Instead, I can continue to serve our passengers as a flight attendant. And I hope that, well, please accept this as a token of my appreciation. That's... I see. You don't have to take it if you don't want it. No. I mean, I would never turn down a lady's generous offer. Oh, thank you. I'm sure it served you well. And remember, we here at iFly Airlines are always ready to serve, Mr. Edgeworth. Thank you. I'll keep that in mind. Now I must bid you farewell. May all your skies be blue, no matter where you go. Come true, you finally have your suitcase. I can't believe we wound up investigating it the whole day, sir. But boy, it was fun. Speak for yourself. My day was filled with earthquakes and elevators and false charges. It was DL6 all over again. By the way, where's Francesca? Oh, she's filling out some custom paperwork for her departure. Departure? Yeah, Miss Von Karma's always really busy, sir. She's been flying from country to country, chasing down some leads regarding her case. Detective? Can you cancel the car I had you reserve earlier? You got it, sir. Francesca. I thought I told you when I first landed. I have no time for idle chatter. I have no intention of wasting your time. However, it's been a while since we last met. I also have no time for such familiar reminiscence. Who do you think I am? You're Francesca Von Karma, a very proud prosecutor deserving of much respect. Until only a little while ago, I was a French mutt who always was losing to you. A dancing pervert losing her life in the name and fame her invincible father built. Until it was destroyed by a vampire phoenix, right? Sure, your father, Manfred Von Karma, didn't lose a single case for 40 years as a prosecutor. All until a rookie prosecutor came and destroyed that fact. By the way, speaking of that, guys, make sure to tune in for a turnabout Christmas. This December 29th to the 21st. I know that's like well over 2 months away, but still. Mark your calendars. December 19th, 20th, and 21st. It will be a really turnabout Christmas. However, I wouldn't say he was invincible. What are you talking about? Literally, that attorney took him down. The group I'm on the trial is a little more troublesome than most. The smuggling route we found this time is only one sliver of the big picture. Sounds like a dangerous assignment. You really don't have to worry. I can take care of myself. Yes, I suppose you can. Plus, there's another agent on this case with me. Oh, another agent. He's a star amongst the Interpol agents. Has the highest respect for successful arrest rate. Who knows? You may even run into him one day. I was simply caught up in one case. I hardly see why we would cross paths. I suppose. But I doubt he would say the same. I'm not following you. You'll understand soon enough. The fight has only just begun, Miles Edgeworth. I'll be back in this country soon enough. And when I am, you can be sure I'll pay you back, in full.
Just like that, she's gone, huh, sir? Thank goodness. I can finally rest easy knowing that I won't have to watch her out for her whip. Detective Gumshoe, I want to thank you for all your help and cooperation. Ah, it was nothing, sir. I was just happy to be able to work with you. Oh, I think I'm going to celebrate by adding a little extra salt to my instant noodles tonight. Oh boy! Salt! That is awesome, Gumshoe. You add some extra salt to your noodles tonight. Just how much did you cut his salary by, Francesca? Detective, I was wondering if you might give me a ride down to the prosecutor's office. Sure thing, sir. I'll even fly down the road in the patrol car if you want. Don't make me remind you, Detective. Safety first. Thus, I solved the first case upon my arrival home. Francesca von Karma, smoking rat she was after. The leaders of that ring have already put their trump card into play, and the players on the other side of the war. They would begin to make themselves known throughout the next incident. Ezra speaking. Ah, finally. I called who knows how many times earlier, but I couldn't get through. And you are? Ah, have you forgotten my voice, Miles, my boy? Mr. Amano? Ernest Amano? Ah, so you do remember me. I know it's rather sudden, but I can't ask this of anyone else. There's been an incident, Miles. My son has been kidnapped. Dun dun dun! Yes, save. Okay, good, cool. So, this is where we're gonna end tonight. So, I appreciate you guys all tagging along for, like, literally majority of Turnabout Airlines. Holy shit! This is an interesting game. And we're only 2 chapters in. There's 5 in this game, and I'm gonna assume that there's 5 in Gatsby Goshen 2, which is, Investigations 2. Which I do have an English fan dub for, but we're not gonna get to it right away because we are gonna take some time for Gate Zero and Professor Layton in the dubious box after that. And then probably at some point, because let's face it, it's gonna be that time. It's gonna, and then sometime during that will be Apollo's Justice, because let's face it, the trilogy is gonna come out. I'll bet you guys this right now. We'll be like just trying to finish up Gate Zero when we get to when by January 24th, which is the release of the Apollo's Justice trilogy. So I will make that bet. You have that in. This is evidence of me saying that's where I think we'll be. So the 24th is a Wednesday, but the 25th is a Thursday. So depending on where we are, I might do a launch. I might do a launch with for might do a launch for it. It's just like do the first episode of Apollo's Justice. Because they have given us a preview of Capcom has released a preview of it, and I was just like, my thought was this, and I was like, God damn it, how many times is Phoenix gonna get arrested in this game series? And that also made me think, okay, so that would be Phoenix's 3rd time, so that means when we see Maya again, she's gonna be arrested on the suspect of murder, because that's usually how they introduce Maya again. But anyways, yeah, that's all for tonight. I'm gonna see if there's anyone I can raid, quite frankly. Well, we are gonna raid our boy Super Hobbit! And we are gonna give him, and make sure to say hi and everything. And definitely, we can prove that we are great investigators, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Some festival cleanup detail with the crew, with the mods. I would say the crew, but Madcap's out of town, and if we actually had time, we probably will record part 2 of the Halloween special. Whoops! Spoilers! See you tomorrow, guys!